Okay, so we're nearly there with this character. We just need to add some hair, and unless you don't need hair. But hair, I think, will be quite an interesting challenge, but quite a fun part of the process. So make sure you've not got anything selected, and then go to Add, and then Surface, not my surface, sorry, Mesh, and we'll use a UV sphere. So a UV sphere is tiled with quads, so quite useful, apart from at the top. So let's have a look at using this then. So the way we do this is we're just roughly going to place the sphere where the head would be and scale it up. That'll do. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to flatten it a bit because I don't want all this inside the head. So I'm going to use the scale tool, and I'm just going to flatten it down a little bit and then just move it roughly into position. There we go, it's done. If only it were that easy. You might actually like that for your character, depending on what their hair will look like. But you can see where we're going with this already. So we're now going to go into sculpt mode and do this a little bit differently. So this is why it's a little bit more fun. So let me just scale that up even bigger. It's just easier to work with if it's the right size. So go into sculpting. Now in sculpting mode, we've got some different tools down here. What we're primarily going to be using initially is the grab tool. And what this allows you to do is just literally pull the shape how you want it. Now at the moment, my brush is way too small to be doing this task. So up here you've got the radius and you've also got it here. So let's bump that up to, let's just bump it up to about 150-ish. And now when I pull it, I can see that it's starting to move this shape. Now I haven't got shade smoothing on at the moment. And if you did have shade smoothing on, it would look a lot better. I'm just going to try and pull this down. Now you don't have to worry about these polygons being really stretched because we're going to sort that out in a minute. So here we are. We're just going to shape the hair a bit, and don't worry if it doesn't look right. Let's get this in a little bit. Don't need it to be sticking up quite that much. I don't have that much hair. Ooh. I have a bit more there. So you can see what I'm doing, and obviously your hair character is going to be different, but you're just getting a rough shape to the hair. Very rough initially, and we're going to do more to it in a little while. So you're getting the rough shape of your hair, and you might get stuck down here. You might not be able to go much further because of the way the polygons are stretching. If we go into wireframe mode, you'll be able to see what's happening, and you can actually move the inside bit as well if you want. But hold Z, go back into solid mode. If you do prefer it shaded smooth, you can go back into layout mode and click object and then shade smooth, and you can see how that looks even with very little geometry. I prefer to do it for now with shade flat because I like to see what's going on with the geometry. So back into sculpting mode, what we could do with doing is remeshing this to make it the even topology. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go up here to remesh, and I'm going to type, and this does depend on the size of your character, 0.6, and then I'm going to click remesh. Oops. So that obviously wasn't high enough, or was too high. Let me type 0.1. Let me try 0.1, see what that does. Remesh. Yeah, 0.1 was okay. It does depend on the size of your model. So we can now go back into wireframe, hold Z down, and you'll see we've got more topology to work with. So hold Z, go back into solid mode. So we can start this process again because it's even the geometry out, and it uses the volume of your shape to work this out. So it's a matter of just slowly shaping how you want, and you can use a bigger brush to move larger areas and a smaller brush to work with, you know, the details. So I'm just roughly, again, I'm being quite rough while I'm doing this. I'm just literally trying to pull it into shape. I'm not worried about the geometry, because what I'm going to do is then remesh it, and it will then even the geometry back out again. So it's really quite a nice workflow. And if you get bits like that, what's happened is it's gone inside, so you'll just have to pull it out and get the hair how you want it. And you're only thinking about the shape. You don't have to be concerned with any geometry at this stage, because we just remesh it. Just getting the right shape. I mean, you can see what I'm doing. Yours will obviously be different. And you just sort of creating the hair how you think it will be for your character, and you're just slowly shaping it. Whenever you want, you can then remesh it, and it will even out that geometry, and then you can slowly, as you get it closer, start working with smaller and smaller brushes to tweak the shape of it. But don't do that at the start, because it'll take you forever. Like here, I think I need a bigger brush, and I just need to slowly start working that in. And then when you've got the rough shape of what you want, you can then use some other tools. So let me remesh it again. And you don't want to go crazy with this, the amount of detail. You can go up a little bit more if you want. Make it a little bit more dense, but we're trying to make a sort of game ready character, so you don't want to go absolutely crazy. I will show you how to reduce the polygon count of this, but yeah, the idea is not to create 1,000,000 polygons while you're doing it, which you could easily create 1,000,000 polygons, and even that probably wouldn't be enough to get it to look really smooth. So I'm just going to give my character a bit more of a more style, if you could call it that. And then I'm going to start looking at different tools. So I'm just going to remesh it, and then I can look at different tools. So one handy tool is the crease tool here. You'll definitely want to turn the size down, but what the crease tool does, it allows you to put some creases in the hair like this. So, you know, you could then start creating bits of shape to it, like that. So maybe just a couple of bits of shape, some large volumes of hair, curving round, something like that. Maybe. And then you've got the other tools you can use then at your disposal. So let me remesh that. Keep remeshing it. It is going to keep making it low poly again. But you can then do things like draw. So this is where you can actually just draw more clay onto it. So this can give it some shape as well. If you want to draw some parts on, that will give it shape. And you can also change that into subtract mode. So I could use this. You might want to turn down the strength and you might want to turn down the size. Get that right, and then you can start curving in some more shape to it. I think to be honest, I'm probably going to leave it like that. And then see, I'm not happy with that bit there, so I'm going to go back into my grab tool, and you can grab small areas as well and really give it a lot more shape if you want to. And then when you're totally happy with the shape, I'm not happy with this bit, so I just want to make the radius quite large and pull that up a bit. It just looked a bit weird. Trying to give the head a little bit of shape. Yeah, just generally get the shape you want. I'm not a hairdresser, so that's probably going to have to be my limit. And have a look at the other tools. So you've got flatten and scrape, and you can draw clay onto it as well. And the crease tool is really useful. Now the snake hook, I'll just show you. I'm not going to use this, but it allows you to pull it out like that. I mean, that could be a nice effect. Depending on what you want, that could be a really useful tool to use. So the snake hook, we've talked, and the thumb, that just allows you to nudge it a little bit. The other one I wanted to show you, yeah, we've looked at the grab, scrape, fill. Yeah, so fill is for filling in holes like that. Flatten, if you want to flatten it. Smooth it. That's just if you've got some rough topology and you want it smoothing out a little bit. Probably turn the strength down, the radius down, and the strength right down. And that will just allow you to smoothen it. Remeshing it will also smooth it. So I'm going to leave mine there, I think. And I'm going to go back into layout mode. And then I'm going to go to Object, and shade smooth, and have a look, and I've got my hair for my character. There we go, that was it, hair done. So I'll see you in the next video. Have fun sculpting your hair. It's quite a nice little change from moving all the vertices about. So I'll see you in the next episode.